Welcome back to another episode of the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast. This is episode 107. I hope everyone is having a great day, great night, wherever you are around the world. On tonight's guest for the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast, we have Jeremy Butler, also known as Jay Butler. He is a former NFL receiver. He played for the San Diego Chargers. He played for the Baltimore Ravens. So, Jeremy, it's a pleasure to have you on the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast.
I appreciate it, man. I'm excited to chop it up with you, man. I'm excited to be on. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. So for the people that don't know you at home, I always like my guests to be introduced. So just give a little short, brief introduction of who you are, and we'll take it from there.
I got you. Let me see, man. I ain't too good talking about myself, but man, typical football story, man. Came out of the mud, got an opportunity to play in the league, and since then just been looking to give back and mentor and develop the next generation. So doing a little bit in the public speaking space now. I got a book coming out, so I'm excited about that and just building my business around speaking and mentoring the youth.
That's awesome. So when you were younger, when did football start for you?
Probably as far back as I can remember. My very first memory of a football probably was about 5 years old. Just we would put dirt, sand, rocks in a water bottle, empty water bottle, put a bottle on, throw it up. Whoever get it, everybody trying to tackle that guy. We call it throw him up, bust him up.
Where are you from? Like, where were you born? Like, from where you grew up?
Sarasota, Florida, a little bit south of Tampa. So South Florida.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm in Fort Myers, so it's about 2 hours from you because you're in Brandon, right?
Yeah, I live in Brandon now. So yeah, you ain't too far. Yeah, a little hike, but not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. I've been around that area good amount of time. So when you were younger during your time playing football, when did you think the NFL was a possibility?
I had doubts at times. I'm gonna be honest, but I kind of always knew. Like I just knew. Like it was just a feeling I can't explain. Like I just knew I had to be there. I was gonna get there. But it became a real possibility. Probably late college. But yeah, for me as a kid, I just always knew. I seen the Monday night games, the theme music. I used to grow up watching Ray Lewis, which is crazy. So when I seen that dance, I'm just like, man, I gotta get to the league. I gotta go. I knew I was gonna go. It was always in me. I knew I was gonna make it.
So when you were in the league, you had a stint in the NFL for times. But I don't know, like you said earlier before we started, you were like you don't like to be like remembered as that, but just talk about your time in the NFL, just the ups and downs, the highs and the lows.
Oh man, that's one thing I'm super big on. That's a great question, man. Thank you for asking. So I'm super big on being transparent about the NFL. So as a kid, it was everything you can dream of. The big fancy locker rooms, the big stadiums, the money was great. So I gotta admit that. Traveling the world as a young man, it was amazing, man. Competing against the best. Like I loved everything about that, like football aspect of it. It's a matter of the business that I wasn't aware of. That's that guys don't talk about. So the business side of it, I think, is what really kind of created a lot of the downs. Football, playing the game, being in practice, competing with the guys, the teammates, locker rooms, coaches, all that's the same. You love it. You love the game, fans, but the business side of it and decisions that got to be made because of, the business and the money behind it, that kind of takes away like the real freedom and the passion of the game at times. It's conflict of interest. So the business really created a lot of the downs, I would say, in my time. Of course, some injuries here and there, but that's just the nature of the beast. But yeah, I would say the business side of sports really got my attention. I wish I would have been, prepared for that. I wish I would have had a little bit of heads up on be prepared how to navigate the business side of things.
When when you mention the business side of things, because I think a lot of players do talk about that or try to express their time in the NFL afterwards when they finished.
Yeah.
For example, I had a former Florida Gators player on, Josh Hammond, and he basically said the very same thing you did. He had a short stint in the NFL, and he said a lot of people don't understand the business side of it. They just see the glory, the glitz, the glamour of seeing on TV, but you don't realize exactly what kind of goes on behind the scenes. And you're basically saying this here. So, just for example, let me ask you this: do you think if you didn't get hurt, because I researched that you got hurt, right? Like you had some injuries throughout your time. Do you think if you didn't suffer those injuries, you would have still been in the NFL or you would have had a longer career?
For sure. I think that's pretty easy to say. Yeah. And I just recently started like sharing and, opening up about this story. So for me, I kind of had small injuries, nothing I couldn't play through for the most part. Like I had small injuries in the beginning of my career, nothing super crazy. But one of the big things that really led to me, being at peace with kind of like, you know what, let me, walk into a different path was I had a son at the time. So I had my son in college. So a year or two before I even got to the NFL. So he was young. And then by me being, like I said, the business side of it, I never had the big contract and that job security. So
Yeah.
I wasn't going to purchase a home. Like I didn't know how long I would be around at the time. So
Yeah.
my son was at home. So 5, 6 months out of the year, like I wasn't seeing my kid. And
Wow.
I would come home and he didn't recognize me. Like he literally my twin, but he literally wouldn't recognize me, would like cry when people try to tell me that, like tell him to go to me. And I'm just like, man, like I really don't have a relationship with my son. Like I'm a stranger to him. And I can't hide it behind like, oh, I'm in the NFL, daddy's doing like making a living. But so it was really that kind of made like helped me make peace with walking away. But yeah, if you take away a few of the like, dinks here and there as far as injury wise, yeah, I for sure. Cause on the back end, I started figuring out the business of how to make a roster, like playing special teams, that what a lot of guys don't want to do. Easy way to make the team, being that guy that's, out hustling everybody, knowing all the positions, like learning the business of it, it makes it almost kind of, I'm not gonna say easy, but simple. So yeah, I would have stuck around a little longer.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. But I'm glad that you brought up that you are a dad. So what's it like being a dad?
Um, I'm learning every day that I don't know nothing about being a dad. So I love it, man. It's almost like it's the gift that keeps giving, man. Like I see myself in them. I
Mhm.
see my younger version of myself in them. Like every day they teach me different things. They keep me humble, keep me grounded, keep me in the moment. Cause
Yeah.
no matter what I'm doing, man, I can be on a business meeting. I can be on an important phone call. My daughter come up and she just wants chips and soda right now. So she ain't going for none of it. So they really keep me grounded, but I love being a dad. It's the best thing in the world. Me and my wife, they keep us young. They keep us busy.
So how do you balance your personal life with just like your business endeavors and your like you said you're coming out with a book with your family time? Like how do you balance between the two of those?
Um, Football taught me this. So especially at the NFL level, it taught me how to compartmentalize and like it taught me schedule, structure. So they know I have my time where I'm working, I'm doing my things, I'm committing to my priorities. When those are done, like I shut it down. Once the laptop is closed for the day, I'm in daddy mode. I take off the work hat, I put on my daddy cape, and I'm in daddy and husband mode the rest of the day. So it's just always kind of like understanding that make time for what's important, but at the same time, make the main things the main things. Business got to get handled in the morning, evening. That's family time. That's me at practice. I'm at school picking my kids up every day. I'm at every practice, so I won't miss that. I ain't gonna miss that stuff at all.
With the way football is going, with the NFL, with college football, with high school sports, just football in general, would you like to put your son in football as he gets older, or are you just like, no thanks?
Um, Man, that's a great question. So this is going to be his second year playing football. He played flag a little bit when he was younger for like a couple games. Played tackle 1 year when he was about 7, but I took him out from there. And just the way I see it is like, I'm gonna let you play, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to control and dictate as much banging as possible because
Yeah.
you're not gonna get a scholarship in elementary school or not even middle school. So save the banging and the head to head as much as we can. I'm gonna put him in this year. This is gonna be his first year, and I'm gonna see how you like it. But yeah, I'm super like it's tough because he got the genetics to do it, and I know I can help you
Yeah.
get where you got to go. But
Yeah.
then on the other end, it's like I know the injuries and I know the downsides that come with it. So it's just a tough mix, man. I'm still navigating it myself,
Yeah,
but
no,
I'm
absolutely.
gonna let him play.
Absolutely. What do you think of the NFL's new form of the concussion protocol with their allowing players to wear the headgear on their helmets during the season, this upcoming season? Because in practice, in training camp, you'll see I can't think of the name of it, but you know what I'm getting at. What do
Yeah,
you think
yeah,
of
yeah.
that? The optional, because now they have the players are allowed to wear the neck collars, like Tony Pollard wore one, Dalton Schultz wore one, other players wear one as well. So what do you think of that
Yeah.
with the concussion um, protection?
I think the neck collar. I like that. That's the old school style. I like that. I love that. I don't know, man. I'm a little. My uncle used to say this like probably like 5 years ago, and it's looking like it's headed that way. He said in about
Yeah.
20 years, so it's gonna be 7-on-7.
My dad
And
says the
I'm just
exact
like,
same thing.
man, it's getting a look. Like at some point, like you got to understand, this is what we signed up for. And then,
Right.
like, of course, mental health first, man. I dealt with a real serious concussion, so I'm on both. I understand both sides, but I mean, come on, man. Like that's tough. You got to let them play. You got to let them bang a little bit. But I'm all for protecting them. I think they just got to develop better helmets.
Yeah. Sticking on this, what do you think of the hip drop tackle in the NFL with the recent ban of the certain form of the hip drop tackle?
Oh yeah, you got to get it out. Yeah, but
Really?
you still got to let. I think you got to take that out. But you got to let guys kind of. You got to let the defenders. You got to let them be able to crash down on receivers, like just to make it fair. Because now you got a defender coming up. He don't know how to tackle a receiver. Or he don't know how to tackle a guy. You putting him in a bad position to get hurt, and you putting him in a position to where all he can do now is just dive at knees.
Yeah.
So I think you take that away, but you got to put back in place where you can hit a defensive guy running across the middle. You got to balance it back
But
out.
but also too at the same time, Jay, when you think about it, you're going to have to let these players who've been playing football their entire life, they're going to have to learn a whole new style of tackling because you're trying to protect the players. And this also goes back to what you said. They signed up for this. Like this is a
Yeah,
grown man's game. This isn't, you get what I'm saying, but also at the same
yeah.
time, like these players they signed up for it. Like you're going to get hurt. And yes, I get you're trying to prevent injuries, but also at the same time, you have to sit here and look at you're taking away a huge aspect of the game.
No, I agree, and I think because you gonna make the game so watered down, man. Because we love it.
Yeah.
Just being honest, we loved it. We love the violence of football. That's why we love it. That's why we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And so I think the best you can do is probably put. It goes back to the business. If you put insurance policies over guys, you put more things to protect guys
Yeah.
financially if they get injured or career-ending injuries. If you put more in place to take care of the players financially, I think you'll hear guys, less complain less about injuries and the banging and the knee drop tackles. But I'm with you, man. You got to let them bang a little bit. We signed up for it. We've been training for it. It's hard to train your instincts after 20 years of doing it this way since Pee Wee. I get to the pros and now I got to change all of my instincts of how I bring down a ball carrier. That's tough.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I'm glad you brought up the financial part here because this kind of goes into my next part I wanted to ask you. What do you think of the running back market in the NFL? Because now you start to see players like Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley getting these big contracts, but they also say running backs are a dime a dozen. The Steelers just didn't pick up Najee Harris's fifth-year option. So what do you think of the whole running back ordeal in the NFL? Like, should running backs be paid, or do you think running backs are just a dime a dozen?
I think I think they should get paid, but I think they got to do. I think the type of running backs that we're used to probably are a dime a dozen. Like just anybody can get out there and just the type of offenses they running now spread. I think anybody got to college can get in there and run that. I think for running backs they have to evolve. I think like every other position you're gonna have to evolve now. Like the quarterback, you got to be a little mobile now.
Yeah.
There ain't no way around it. And so with running back position, I think you got to be more of a McCaffrey. You got to be more of a every down back. You got to be more of a I can go out to the slot and run some routes. I can catch. I'm a threat in the pass game. You can't just get the ball on first and second down and think you're gonna be a $45 million running back. That ain't happening no more.
No. I love the argument for the running back. Should they be paid? Should they not be paid? Because then you go back years ago with the Patriots when they ran their system with Lawrence Maroney, LeGarrette Blount, James White, Danny Woodhead, all those running
Yeah,
backs back in the day. And then you flip the coin now all the way to the Chiefs with Isaiah Pacheco, who was drafted in the seventh round from Rutgers a few years ago. Do running backs really need to be paid? The Chiefs have won two Super Bowls. Now I understand they have it's a total different dynamic because you got Patrick Mahomes, but also at the same time, are running backs really worth it? Because now you look at the NFL like Christian McCaffrey. I think he's an anomaly. And then you can follow in with Saquon Barkley. But 18, 19 million when you're risking all that for a player to get hurt. I mean, look what the Bills did last year with James Cook. He finally got his opportunity. So
yeah.
it's my hands are like up in the air with this one. It's a very sticky one because I think you can go either way. I mean, I think that it's been proven.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I'm a receiver, and it took me a while. Like it took me retiring and looking at the game outside in and understanding that business side of it.
Yeah.
When I think about receivers getting paid, it's like I want everybody to get paid because you producing. You
Right.
putting your body out there. You producing. You're a talent. You're a draw to the stadium. You bringing fans in. So I want everybody to get paid their worth.
Yeah.
But then when you think about winning championships, the formula's out there. If you get a great quarterback and a great defense,
Yeah.
can kind of fill in those skill positions a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, you
So
can
it's
you can
tough.
pick up a running back in the third or fourth, maybe even the fifth round. He can still produce. I mean, do you really need to pay a
Yeah.
running back that much money? You know, like Joe Mixon, for example, the Bengals just had to get rid of him because they couldn't afford him. They're having the issue with paying T Higgins or Jamar Chase. And I think Tyler Boyd actually just had a workout with the LA Chargers, so they had to let him walk. He's a free agent. So it's just one of those things. It's like, should they be paid? Should they not be paid? It's, you
Yeah.
know, the Raiders didn't want to
There
pay
ain't
Josh
enough money to
Jacobs.
go around.
The Packers paid him. There's only so much money to go around. Exactly. So going to
Crazy.
receivers, give me your top 5 receivers in the NFL.
Ooh, right now?
Yeah, right now.
I gotta go. I'm gonna go Jamar Chase. In no order though. In no order.
No order. That's fair.
I'm gonna go Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams. Gotta go Tyreek. It gets sticky. It gets sticky right here. I gotta give him his respect. He put up numbers. Stephon Diggs. And that fifth spot is tough, man.
You're missing somebody.
Who am I missing?
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm tripping. I don't watch much Minnesota, man, but yeah, I like the dude from Pittsburgh, man. I was gonna put him as a dark horse.
George Pickens.
Yeah.
There's so many good receivers in the NFL. I mean, you could make a second list to that. I could go those 5, I can go another 5. You can go CeeDee Lamb, you can go Amon-Ra St. Brown, you can go Mike Evans. I mean, there's so many receivers when you think about it. It's crazy to think about. And now you're going to get Marvin Harrison Jr., who just got drafted by the Cardinals. He's going to make his name right there.
So you got a lot of guys coming in too, so it's loaded. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot Justin Jefferson. Yeah, I'm disrespecting that guy, man.
Yeah, you're expecting Justin Jefferson. Do you think Justin Jefferson could be the first receiver in the NFL history to receive a $40 million contract a year?
I don't think so.
If Tyreek Hill's getting $30 million, Devontae Adams is getting around the same. What's to say Justin Jefferson can't get $10 more million if he's the best receiver in the NFL?
I think the same thing that's happening with the running backs. I think it'll happen with receivers. Like I think just the market of the NFL, I think they'll control it together. It's like, because if I pay him, $40 million, now you create the market for the next team having to pay $42, $45 million. So I think all teams are kind of get in sync and probably 35, 36, probably where they'll max it out at. But receivers ain't winning you Super Bowls. Like you can't look at no Super Bowl over the past probably 5-10 years and say they clearly had like one of the best receivers in the league, and that's why they won the Super Bowl. So like that's not like a Super Bowl winning position, I would say.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Sticking on receivers though, who are your top 5 receivers of all time? Your Mount Rushmore of receivers.
All time, man. You got me here. I'm ready for this. So
yeah.
And we can go in order on this one. So for me, Randy Moss, AB. I know that's probably gonna piss a lot of people off, but skill wise, like when you know the position, skill wise, technique, fundamentals, bringing everything to the table, I'm going Randy, I'm going AB, I'm going Terrell Owens. I gotta throw Calvin Johnson in there. I gotta throw Calvin in. And fifth, I'm gonna go Julio.
No Jerry Rice?
I argue with you about this. I argue about this list all the time about Jerry. Nah, man.
Over Antonio Brown or Julio Jones?
If I drop Antonio or Julio in that era, come on, man.
Jerry Rice has he's the most receiving yards of all time.
He played like 24 seasons.
Yeah, but
he played 24 years, like about what, 24 years, played with 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
We're going to be having this conversation about LeBron in about 30 years when he has the most points of all time in the NBA. And everyone's like, oh, well, he has 4 championships. Yeah, but he has the most points of all time.
Okay, let me ask you this then. Let me throw this back at you then.
Go ahead. I'm ready.
Bron and MJ.
Oh, LeBron all day. 100%. Yes. If
No,
you
man,
okay,
no.
let's go your argument. If you put LeBron back in the era of Jordan, he'd dominate that era.
He would. If I put Jordan in this era, he would dominate more.
I don't think so. I think
Oh, too easy.
no way.
Too
I don't
easy.
think the guys are more athletic in this NBA now. I don't think so.
If Jason Tatum can do what he do in the league, you telling me?
Well, they say the modern day MJ, like that similar game style and play, is DeMar DeRozan, if anything, like the similar play, how they play. But let's sticking on MJ and LeBron. Oh, LeBron all day. LeBron,
No.
three different championships with 3 different teams, the all-time leading scorer. You can say the finals record all you want, the longevity. He's the first player to hit 40, 10, and 10 in his career, 40,000 points, 10,000 assists, 10,000 rebounds. And he's still playing at a high level.
Those numbers, those good numbers. I like those. Those are good in regular season stats too. But when we look at
all-time playoffs, he has all the records in the playoffs.
30, what Jordan averaging? 34 career?
He averaged what? 30, was it 36? 34?
30
35?
points a game for my career, 50% shooting. I'm the only player, as far as I know, I could be wrong. I'm the only player to win the scoring title, MVP, and I believe Defensive Player of the Year.
He did win Defensive Player of the Year. LeBron got robbed of that Defensive Player of the Year.
And MVP of the finals in the same year.
LeBron got robbed of that Defensive Player of the Year.
You can't get more complete than that. Defensive Player of the Year, steals, points, offense, like lead scorer, MVP, and Finals MVP. You can't get a more complete basketball player. I'll say this, and I'll leave it here. MJ was so dominant that somebody else patented one of his moves and became top 3 scoring all time.
Kobe?
That's saying something.
Yeah, I mean it's one that's gonna be one for the ages, the LeBron MJ debate, and I don't know if LeBron's gonna win another ring, but I mean I think he's already cemented his legacy. I don't think he has anything left to prove. I mean it's for me, if you want to go this way too, a lot of people in the NFL with quarterbacks and receivers, Jordan and LeBron, you can go 1A, 1B.
Yeah, it's like honestly to me, I always said it was like comparing Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Like you really can't go wrong. It's just a matter of like what you like.
Right.
Because, I mean, you really can't go wrong.
Yep. So going back to the NFL, do you think Patrick Mahomes is a top 3 quarterback of all time already?
Yeah. Yeah, I got to give it to him, man. And it's scary for what he on pace for. And he do it. I think he probably got the best blend of just like clutch, arm talent. Like he got that dog in him. And he mobile enough. He ain't a blazer, but he mobile enough to get what he got to do done. He show up every game, man. He show up in every big game, every big moment. So
even when he was hurt when he had the hurt knee against the Bengals in the 2022 AFC Championship, when he had that hurt knee, or his ankle, hurt his ankle because the game before was against the Jaguars in the divisional game, and then they had to play the AFC Championship, and he wasn't 100% healthy, and he willed the Chiefs to that getting them to the Super Bowl, and he still had that crazy run against the Eagles in the Super Bowl too. So he has like that MJ killer instinct in him. He did it against the Niners in this past Super Bowl. He's special to watch.
Yeah,
like you said, he's a sneaky runner.
It's like Tom Brady, man. Like I think. And you, man, as a sports fan, you know it. You know what I'm talking about when I say this.
Yeah.
It's like when you watch certain guys, it's like, it's that calm. Like you, as a fan, you like I'm calm for him because I know, like, oh, they're not in trouble. Like he can be down 20, and as a fan, I'm watching like, they're good. Like it ain't no anxiety watching him. You just know he gonna do what he got to do. Like it's like no ifs, ands, or buts. It's
like a boxer just going into the fight, just one that's confident, cool, collected. They got the aura. They've got it all to him. Like Mayweather, he goes into a fight back when he fought, wasn't worried.
Cool.
He was
some
cool,
guys
calm,
you can
collected.
Tell where it's like man, I don't really know
flustered.
He gonna pull this out.
Yep.
You can tell some guys get a little flustered in the moments, but you like watching him, man. That's why I got to give it to him. He top 3 all time already.
Well, you go to women's basketball or women's sports, for example. Caitlin Clark, she comes in cool, calm, collected. She's changing the game of college or women's sports, women's basketball just in general. A lot of people don't like to hear it because they say, oh, there were so many players before her. There was this, there was that.
Man,
you look at Caitlin Clark and what she's doing. She is changing the game she's changing the women's basketball completely.
It's that Steph Curry effect, man. Like Curry,
Yep.
I don't think he's a better basketball player than certain guys like LeBron. But
No.
you talking about somebody who come in and have a moment and change the game, you got to give her that. You can't take it from her. Like I think
No.
the views for women's basketball as a whole, I think it's probably been the highest it's ever been. So you got to
Oh,
give her that credit. You got to give it to her.
100%. They had more in the women's championship. They had 18.7 million viewers. In the men's, there was 14 million. So it was 4 million more because of Caitlin Clark and the Caitlin Clark effect. I've been trying to tell people this, and they're like, "Oh, well, let's see what she's going to do in the WNBA." I'm like, she's going to slide right in. She's going to be cool, calm, collected. She's shooting the ball from 30 feet out. You can say the competition is higher in women or in the WNBA because she's going to have to go against Sabrina Ionescu, Kelsey Plum,
Yeah,
what's her name, Asia Wilson from the Las Vegas Sparks, Las Vegas Aces. So
she'll
yeah,
adapt. She'll adapt. I mean, that's
she's
that's
gonna
what
be
all
just
that's
fine.
what all athletes do. She'll adapt to the competition and then get comfortable.
Absolutely. No, 100%.
She's-
What was I? We were talking about? Oh yeah, Mahomes top 3. Yeah.
Yeah, Mahomes, he got
Do
it,
you
man.
think going to the NBA here? Do you think Steph Curry is a top 5 basketball player of all time in the NBA? Because I was having this argument with people. I'm like, I don't think Curry's top 5 of all time.
No, I don't think so. I think you might can. I don't know. You might can sneak him in depending on who you're talking to, but nah, man. Like nah.
But you just said that he changed the game, or he changes the game when he comes in. That's
Yeah,
a game changer. He changed the game of basketball forever with the 3-point shot, and some people say just his style of play.
yeah.
So I mean, we've seen 3-point
If you
shooters in
go
the
in LA
past.
Fitness right, if you go in LA Fitness right now, you'll see how he changed the game.
There you go, right there. I don't know if that's the best strategical way, but with coaches, they rip their hair out. But Steph Curry's on a whole different level. But no, yeah, I mean,
Everybody's shooting threes now. Everybody. So yeah, it's hard, man. That's hard to keep him out. But then you got guys like you got Shaq, you got
yeah,
Tim Duncan, you do
Kareem.
got some guys, man. You got even like a D Wade, man. D Wade is a dog. Like and so yeah, you got it's a lot of guys you can argue with.
Yeah,
Got
no,
Magic Johnson, like got to
yeah,
respect his legacy. Larry
Kobe.
Bird, Kobe, LeBron, you already know the top 3. Like they cemented, so it ain't even an argument about them 3.
A
So
lot of
yeah,
people don't even
that's
have
tough.
Kobe in their top 5. A lot of people don't even have Kobe in
Nah,
their top 5. Yeah,
nah.
you said yeah. You said he is.
Kobe got to be in top 5. Easy,
Yeah,
easy.
it's a tough one because a lot of people say that he's not. I mean, it's one of those things where I guess you can go either way. I have this debate with people. Would you rather have a power forward or would you rather have a shooting guard, Kobe or Tim Duncan? Because one of those
Give me
guys has
Kobe.
to be bumped out. Yeah, same here.
Give me Kobe. You talking about impacting the game? You talking about defender? You
Oh
talking
yeah,
about down the stretch who I'm going to no matter what? Like you talking about, man? Nah,
Eight,
I got to go with Kobe.
81 points in a game,
Come on, man.
60 in his last game against the Jazz. Rest
He
in
gonna
peace.
strap your best player up too. He gonna strap
Yeah,
your best player. He want the matchup.
he was a
He
dog.
want the big
Kobe was.
moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get Kobe the rock. You gotta put him in. He gotta go in 5 for sure.
All right, let me ask you this: all time, who's better, Steph Curry or KD?
All time career, I gotta go with Curry. Player, like man, if you know basketball, it ain't even it's close. No, it ain't even close. KD, man, like
Pound for pound, it's KD all day.
yeah, like it ain't even close. KD is a player, but if you're talking about like careers, you got to give it with Curry. He changed the game, just the momentum, that dynasty. But then he had to call KD to kind of like.
KD has 2 Finals MVPs and 2 rings, 2 Finals MVPs that he stole from Curry.
Yeah,
Curry has 1 Finals MVP. You could put Curry in the top 5 of all time with 1 Finals MVP.
yeah, because he got 3 of them he didn't even get. So yeah,
Right, two of those,
four
two of those were with.
championships,
Yeah,
4 championships, 3 times he wasn't the so-called wasn't the most valuable player on that team. So that's tough.
that's really
That's
tough.
real tough.
Curry's Curry. Don't get me wrong, but I'd have to go Kevin Durant.
He Curry probably fit into that like the impact and the influence Iverson got, but he
Yeah,
just won the ring, so it's kind of like his career gonna always be amplified because it's
always
I changed
amplified.
the game, I got the
Yeah,
influence, but I got the ring too.
absolutely. All right, a few fun questions for you: texting or talking?
Talking. I do voice notes. So yeah, talking all the way.
Yeah, you did the voice note with me. You're like, can I send you a voice note? I'm like, yeah, sure. Most people don't do that, but we'll go with it. And then I read the transcript and I was like, this is not what he said in the transcript is completely different
It'd
from
be
the voice
way off,
message.
man. It'd be way off.
It was way off. Yeah, favorite junk food.
Let me go with Gushers.
Gushers? Is that because
Yeah,
of the kids or is that just because of you?
that's me. That was way before the kids.
Is that the late night snack?
Man, that's the late night, early morning on the way to the gym. Everywhere, snack. Everywhere. I done
Climb a
pulled some
mountain.
out of the laundry. I done pulled some empty Gush wrappers out of my pants in the laundry, man. They everywhere. I keep them everywhere.
I haven't had Gushers in such a long time. Now they are good, but I haven't had them in such a long
Man,
time. I could
they
eat.
hard.
I could eat those all day too. That's the thing.
Oh yeah,
They're
pop
like,
open the bag. You good?
yeah, those are addicting. Climb a mountain or jump from a plane.
I'm terrified of heights, but I probably climb a mountain before I jump out of a plane.
How would you rate your karaoke skills on a scale of 1 to 10 to Mariah Carey?
I do know that if we belong together, so I probably say like I probably be a strong 5.
You'd be
Strong
a 5. So when
Yeah.
you go up there, you're not confident then.
No, not too confident. I know the words, but I ain't got the voice to match. She got a couple of bangers, I know.
Sour Patch or Swedish Fish?
Sour Patch.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna go Swedish Fish. Oh, depends on the sour. I mean, they're the same. Sour Patch, the regular, the kids, and then the watermelons. I think the watermelons are better, but they're the
watermelons, bangers. But the Swedish Fish, man, they don't. It's like plastic toys, man. They don't really got no flavor.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They don't have a lot. They don't have a lot of flavor.
Nah.
Pineapple on pizza or no pineapple on pizza?
No pineapple at all. Nah.
Nah. Yeah. No. Same here. Favorite fast food place?
Popeyes.
Oh, Popeyes?
Yeah, sweet and spicy chicken. Sweet and spicy wings.
Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
What's your guilty pleasure meal?
Guilty pleasure meal. Ooh. Man, anytime I can get to me a steak, a good steak and some potatoes, or a steak and a baked potato.
Oh, that sounds good.
A little Caesar salad. That's my go-to.
What do you think of Patrick Mahomes putting ketchup on his steak?
Nah, he wasn't raised right.
How can you put ketchup on a steak?
He don't know better, man. He wasn't raised right.
Ketchup on a steak is crazy.
That's sicko stuff, man. That's sicko stuff.
Do you pour your milk before you put the cereal in, or do you put the cereal in after the milk?
No, man. No. You ever heard of ice cubes in your cereal?
No.
I got a buddy that do that. So he fixes cereal, put ice cubes in there so the milk can be colder.
Really?
Yeah. I said the same thing.
I have never done that. What's your favorite cereal?
Favorite cereal? I mean, I got an old head cereal. Raisin Nut Bran.
Oh, what?
I got the raisins with like the sweet stuff around the raisins and the cashews, and that's good, man. Good.
No, I'm thinking more like Captain Crunch, Lucky Charms, the sugary cereals. Yeah. Those are the best.
Captain Crunch for sure. That's a go-to.
Oh, Frosted Flakes is a go-to as well.
Captain Crunch, Oops All Berries, or Raisin Nut Bran. Those are my go-to.
So Raisin Nut Bran is your go-to?
Yeah, if I don't got that, it's Oops All Berries.
That's a cereal? Oops Sour Berry? Never heard of it.
No, Captain Crunch, Oops All Berries.
Oh, now that right there.
Yeah. All berries.
That's a good one. If somebody were to tell you they put peanut butter on their toast, would you think they're crazy, or do you think that's normal?
Peanut butter on toast?
Or peanut butter on a bagel?
No. I would think they're trying to get in the gym and gain some weight or something. Like that's weird.
You're talking to me. I do peanut butter on my toast all the time. I grew up on that.
No, man, that's too thick. I can't do that. I need the jelly. I need the jam.
Really?
Peanut butter on toast?
Yeah, it's a normal thing. No?
Nah, man. That's like somebody
No,
trying to get
what?
buff, man, trying to get some protein in them.
Dude, I can eat it. I can eat a whole jar of peanut butter.
No, 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 no. Now,
Yeah, I
a
could just
good
scoop. I
peanut
could
butter
eat
and
the peanut.
jelly sandwich warmed up with some milk. That's my thing.
That's just gonna put you right on the couch.
Sleep.
Yeah, I gotta keep but yeah, that's a good one. What do you like to do in your free time? If you're
um,
not like if you're not working or you're not at the gym or you're not doing business stuff or hanging like other than just hanging with the kids, like just like you time or maybe with a lady.
fishing, man. I love fishing. Fishing, bass fishing. I like saltwater fishing for snapper.
Oh, nice.
I'm trying to get into golf, man. I'm gonna start getting my swing right. I'm gonna get into golf, but I love fishing. Fishing. Every now and then I hop on the game, man. I
Yeah.
used to play 2K a lot, but not no more. I'm into my
No.
one
With
player games now, man. I don't want to do all the headset and trying to log on. One player game.
talking trash. What one player game are you playing these days?
Right now, I re-downloaded Metal Gear, man, for some nostalgia. So I re-downloaded the old Metal Gear games. And it's a new game. It's not a one-player game, but I don't have to really log on too much with other people. It's called Helldivers. Me and my kids been playing that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty fun.
Do you binge any Netflix shows or any TV shows? Any shows you're binging?
Netflix. I watch the old shows like My Wife and Kids, Martin. Let me see. Stranger Things had me in a chokehold when it came out.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Stranger Things. What was the other movie? Ozark. Other show. Ozark had me in a. I almost watched the whole thing in like probably like 2 days, man. I was locked in. That was the only show that probably had me like sitting on the couch all day watching it. So, but it was only two, Ozark and Stranger Things. But other than that, nah, nothing recently.
I'm still waiting for the new Stranger Things to come out. I think they're still under production because of the whole writer's strike. So I'm waiting on that one there.
Yeah, man. AI gonna start writing now, so they might not ever get them jobs back.
Yeah. Well, I have to ask you this, and the floor is yours for this one. What do you think? So, because we do have some Taylor Swift, like Swifties that do listen to this podcast, I wanted to ask you, what do you think of the whole Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce stuff going on with the NFL?
It goes back to that business thing, man. It's smart business. I think it's smart business to grow the fan base, make the NFL look like on a bigger stage. It's just good marketing. Like, but at the same time, like, man, I think they kind of forced it a little bit too much. It's like, man, we get it, but it's like, I understand the business, but at the same time, it's like, we here to watch football, man. They made it all about Taylor Swift. I'm like, man, we here to watch the game. We here to see Pat Mahomes do his thing.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to get attacked by the Swifties, man.
Yeah, no, I know, right? You'll be saying this, and the next thing you know, there'll be an Instagram story of you or a clip, and you're dancing to "Shake It Off" in the mirror, or you're dancing to a song with the kids.
They'll get you, man. I don't want no smoke with the Swifties.
No, the Swifties, the Taylor Swift fan base is insane. I mean, like you mess up one little thing, I mean, they come for you. It's crazy.
I don't want no smoke, man. I'm waving the white flag.
You don't want any smoke with the Swifties. That's the one thing. They are so passionate. It's crazy.
They'll kill you over Taylor Swift, man.
Do you think Taylor Swift was a distraction at all for Travis Kelce during last season, or do you think that like it didn't even really matter that much?
No, man. I think the whole idea of like distractions, that stuff be unless it's like real life situations going on, like divorces and kid and
Right.
custody battles and parents sick, stuff like that. Like unless it's like real serious stuff, man, you'd be surprised in the locker rooms and then like game days and practice, man. People don't be studying that stuff that's in the media. I think it's like a media narrative, like it's just a
Yeah.
distraction. But man, dudes, once you buck up that chin strap, you ain't thinking
Yeah.
about who in the stands.
No. Let me ask you this. Do you think Travis Kelce is the greatest tight end of all time?
Nah, I think he might be tied for two. I would say like tied for two or maybe two for sure.
Who do you think the best tight end is of all time?
I got to go with Gronk.
Do you think Travis Kelce can pass Gronk if he wins his fourth Super Bowl, if they three-peat?
It'd be pretty hard to keep him out. It'd be pretty hard to keep the argument the same. I think he probably for sure probably can.
Yeah.
But Gronk different, man. The thing about Gronk is like they was blowing people out for like a 4-year stretch where he wasn't even playing full games. They were just blowing everybody out. He wasn't even playing full games. So you got to factor in that, and Gronk like a complete tight end too, man. He blocking, he tough, gritty. And I like Tony Gonzalez too, man. Tony Gonzalez is a whole nother animal. But
One
Travis
more,
Kelce, man, he
yeah.
different.
One more thing about this, about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. Do you think Travis Kelce is the most popular person and most popular player in the NFL because of his relationship with Taylor Swift?
Most popular. So now the way I judge most popular, because like I said, I mentor and try to be around a lot of kids and students and stuff. So you got to judge it based on the kids. I would say Tyreek Hill. It's either Tyreek Hill or Justin Jefferson.
Really?
Like when you get around the kids, like I'm talking about all races, all ages, just like high school down. Is everybody doing it gritty? Or is everybody doing the deuces? Like that's all kids talk about. Tyreek and Justin Jefferson, Jettas. Even my kids, I call my kids watching YouTube, watching Jettas, man. Like that's all kids watch.
And you almost left them out of your top 5 receivers.
Yeah, that's crazy. See that? That's crazy. Crazy. My son gonna see this, he gonna kill me.
Moving briefly before we do wrap up officially, I wanted to ask you about the NFL draft. What did you think of the recent draft with 3 quarterbacks going with the first 3 picks? Pretty big receiver heavy draft in the first round. So what did you think about the draft?
I think it's just showing where the game going, man. It's just everything is going to be in the air from now on. Like it's skill positions. But at receiver position, man, like I'm glad to see it getting even more love because it was a phase where teams that try to get a receiver in the second round, they're looking to get running backs, quarterbacks, and offensive linemen. But so I'm glad to see the receivers getting their love now. But the Falcons confused me a little bit.
Yeah,
they threw me off with that.
Same. I was so confused by that.
I don't see the vision. I don't see the vision.
I don't understand it, Jay, because you went and paid Kirk Cousins all this money. Now I understand Kirk Cousins is hurt. He's coming off the Achilles injury. They actually just dropped a highlight clip of him. He was practicing earlier today. He was throwing the ball and stuff. But then you go and draft Michael Penix at 8, where you're planning for your focus on now, but you're planning for the future. And then your GM comes out and says that Michael Penix won't even play for 4 years. It just doesn't make any sense. So let's just say Kirk Cousins is hurt, right? He's not ready for week 1. Who are you going to throw out there? Michael Penix or Taylor Heineke? So is Michael Penix just going to sit? It doesn't make any sense.
And you don't draft a dude that early, especially a dude that talented, and sit him for 4 years. Like,
no,
this ain't that era no more. Like, you all these quarterbacks now who get into championships and who dominate in the league. They young, man. It's either I think you should give them more time. Like I see a lot of quarterbacks rushed, but nah, man, you got to play. Like I would say, a year. I can see that sitting them down for a year. But sooner or later, you got to let him get live game reps. Like that's the only way he's gonna get ready. You got like this ain't that era no more. Back in the day, where you sit a quarterback down for 2 or 3 years, he's gonna ask for a trade.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Love was very lucky to sit behind Rodgers. Like you said, game reps are so important.
Yeah.
But then you also look at CJ Stroud, who got thrown into the mix right away last year. I mean, yeah, Davis Mills, obviously, you look at it skill-wise, talent, CJ Stroud's way better. But then again, you look at it with Kenny Pickett with the Steelers not too long ago, and he was out for, or he waited a few games for him to get in because they were deciding what they were going to do with him. So that argument right there, I like it, but then again, I don't, because I like for the quarterback to sit for a year, but also at the same time, if that quarterback is talented enough, I think you should just throw him out there. He's never going to learn, right? I mean, you saw with Will Levis last year, he sat a few games too, and then he took over Tannehill's spot. So, I mean, it's one of those that kind of goes back to the running back thing too. It's like, do you want to pay the running back? Do you not want to pay the running back? Do you want to put the quarterback in? Do you want to sit him? I mean, the perfect example with the Mahomes, I mean, this is an anomaly, I feel like. He sat behind Alex Smith for that year, and then the rest is history. But those situations are very rare for obviously the quarterback to be on that level, you know?
And I think it's how you build a run too, because like it's depending on the quarterback situation, like who's in front of him. Then the team, like what type of system do you got? Do you have a team where it's like once he get on the field, everybody's on his back? Or is it a situation where he can come in, he got a decent running game, he got some solid receivers he can trust and lean on? Or does he have to come in and be the guy from day one? I think that's where you create the issues at. And depending on the head coach, is it a head coach who's kind of like not real developmental with quarterbacks? Was it like Andy Reid was a perfect situation for Mahomes, somebody who understands quarterbacks. He doesn't develop plenty of quarterbacks. So
Yep.
it's all about the situation and like what's around him. Like if you building around Penix, let him sit for a year, go get another piece to protect him, make sure he got a solid receiver, running game, defense. We don't need you to come out here and be the MVP right now. So it just depends on how you build it.
Oh, no, absolutely. Speaking of quarterbacks and staying on quarterbacks, Caleb Williams, the Bears taking him at number 1. Thoughts?
Man, I don't. That's gonna be interesting, man. Like he can play. No, ain't no doubt about it. He can play, but it's just you taking a kid from Southern California, putting him in Chicago on the worst field in the NFL, and then you putting him on like a terrible team. So it's just like I think you got to put more pieces around him. They got to move around more pieces. They got to get some more pieces around him. They got a receiver though, but I think that's gonna be an interesting pick, man. I got to see how it play out, but some team just never gonna get like a great quarterback, and I think Chicago is one of them because it just ain't. It's the Windy City. It just unless they make a dome, it just ain't a position for a quarterback to go thrive in.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. But then again, you look at Chicago's pieces and who they have now coming into this upcoming season. You got DeAndre Swift, who they signed from the Eagles this offseason. You have Cole
Yeah, I
Kmet
know they
at
got
tight
him.
end. You got Darnell Mooney went to the Falcons. Then you have DJ Moore. You just drafted Romo Dunze. And on the defensive side, they got Jalen Johnson, Javon Brisker. I mean, they got some pieces there. So it'd be interesting to see how they'll do in the NFC North with Minnesota, Chicago, Detroit, and
Yeah,
Green Bay. Those are Green Bay.
that's a tough
Those are
division.
four. Those are pretty. I mean, Jared Goff, I guess now in this day in the NFL of how you want to categorize it, he's a veteran. But you got Jared
Yeah,
Goff, Jordan Love, JJ McCarthy, and you got Caleb Williams.
he can play, man. It's gonna be interesting to see though. But I think who's the head coach?
Matt Eberflus. Yeah,
He should be okay. They should be okay. It's gonna be interesting, but he can play though, man. I respect it. He can. You knew it was gonna happen. Like that guy can
yeah.
play, so he deserved it. He deserved
He
it.
was like minus 1,000 in the betting odds. He was the guy. I mean, he was the clear cut favorite. But
It was a
no,
sealed deal. We already knew that.
it'll be
By
interesting
far.
to see. I'm excited, but hey, it could be like a situation with the Texans last year. I don't think Matt Eberflus is similar coach as D'Amico Ryans because they're two different style of coaches, with D'Amico Ryans being defensive and Eberflus being an offensive mind. But skill wise and talent, like pieces, Caleb Williams could be like the CJ Stroud of this year's draft. And you've got pieces. And actually, speaking on the Texans, they're going to be fun to watch too. They just got Joe Mixon. They just got Diggs.
Man,
They didn't have a draft pick in the first round because they did the whole trade up with the Cardinals last year because they took CJ Stroud and Will Anderson. So it'll be interesting to see how they'll do too.
Stroud that's a gem. I like watching him play. You can tell he know the game. That's definitely one of the rare successful quarterbacks from Ohio State. They got it right this time. Like that's a quarterback, man. He can play. He can play the position.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, the Steelers just declined Justin Fields' fifth-year option. It was $26.5 billion, which was a no-brainer. Is there any chance Russell Wilson and Justin Fields could be a quarterback controversy there going into the upcoming season? Do you think Justin Fields could beat him out in camp?
Probably not in camp. Not in camp. Knowing Mike Tomlin, probably not in camp, but I do think the way Mike Tomlin kind of runs stuff, it'll be an honest conversation. And I think they got the perfect guy who, like, you don't get much ego out of Russell Wilson. So it's like, as soon as there's kind of like an opportunity, I think he'll understand it too and respect it because he's just not an ego guy. So I think that's a good position. They're in a good position to be in. Any other vet, it probably wouldn't work. It'd be a controversy because they're going to speak out. But Russell Wilson is like good character. He ain't going to make no scenes about it, no ego. I think he'd be the perfect guy to kind of understand that transition a little better.
And I think if you put egos aside, like you said, I think it'd be perfect for Justin Fields to get mentored behind Russell Wilson. You kind of had a rocky stint in Chicago. Now you're going to be coached by one of the best coaches of all time, one of the top 15 quarterbacks of all time, however you want to slice him. I mean, Russell Wilson's going to be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done. It's going to be great for Justin Fields to learn. And I think Russell Wilson will kind of sit there with Justin Fields and look at it and go, hey, you still have a lot of time left in this NFL. You get to sit behind me for a year or so, most likely. I don't think the Steelers will pick up, they didn't pick up his option. They're not going to pay him, of course. So that was just kind of took a flyer on him because it was a 6th round pick. But Russell Wilson can sit there and kind of mentor him. Like you said, he does not that egotistical type quarterback. He can sit there. He can teach Fields the ropes. And Pittsburgh has a pretty good offensive pieces wise. You got actually they traded Deontay Johnson, so they lost him. So Pickens is the number one guy there. So
He
it'll
deserved
be
to be.
interesting.
That guy can play, man. Mark
Yeah.
my words. I'm telling you, I just know from like it's the mindset, it's the way they move, it's the
Yep.
confidence, it's the catch radius, it's the strength with his hands. Like you can just tell he catches the ball away from his body. That
Yep.
dude, man, give him about 2 more years. He's gonna be knocking on the door, probably the top 3 receivers in the league.
George Pickens, as long as he can keep this up here stable. Because you saw him, he had the temper tantrums and he's still young. I understand that, but also at the same time, you're a professional athlete. You got to hold yourself to a higher standard than that. Because if you want to get paid, if you want to be known as the number one receiver, because now the keys were given to him. He's the number one receiver in Pittsburgh. He just traded Deontay Johnson. He's the guy. So now we're going to see what he's really made of, because he was complaining last year that he wasn't getting the ball.
Russell can get him the ball too.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see what Pittsburgh how they'll do this year with Russell Wilson. I think it'll be fun to watch. I mean, they're always a pretty gritty team. Mike Tomlin's a great coach, so I'm excited to see. You played for the Ravens, so you understand that division pretty well.
Oh, everybody in that division can play ball. That's crazy, man.
I feel like they say that
play ball over there.
They say that's like one of the most physical divisions in football.
Oh yeah, throwback football. Hard nosed, cold winter games.
Yep.
It's throwback vintage football over there.
All right, let me ask you this. One game set, I'll give you these 3 quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. You need a game-winning drive. Who are you taking?
Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, or Aaron Rodgers. I hate I got to pick, but
got to pick one.
I'm gonna go Mahomes, and I'll say why.
Go ahead.
Mahomes can make the throws that Brady can make, but Brady don't have the mobility to extend the play like Mahomes can if he need to. Not even that he gonna run it. Just I've seen Mahomes extend just to play just long enough to get a 3rd and 1 or a 4th and 2, and he ain't even sprint nowhere. Just the fact that he can move and get in and out of the pocket better. So I would say I got to go with Mahomes to give me more flexibility. All 11 defenders got to be on point. Like with Brady, ain't nobody got to spy. Ain't nobody like you don't have to contain the pocket. Nothing. Just go. We can blitz him and rush the throw. Mahomes, you make a mistake, might be it.
So Aaron Rodgers gets no love at all.
Nah. I think before Mahomes came in, I used to say that Aaron Rodgers probably had the best arm talent I ever seen at quarterback. So I love him in the game, but he in a tough situation with those 2 dudes.
Yeah, no, that's a tough one there. So you're going Mahomes. If you need a game-winning drive, you're going Mahomes.
Got to go Mahomes, man. That mobility give me a little more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So before we do officially wrap up, we have our 5 questions. But before we get to that, I wanted to ask you, what is your craziest football story?
So I went to junior college, so I went to JUCO out in Cali, and then when I transferred in, this how serious and understood the assignment I was when it comes to going to the league. So when I finally got to at a university, was at Tennessee Martin, and I looked at my schedule. I said, okay, if we don't make the playoffs, FCS, I got 20 games left to make it to the league. I got 20 games to show what I got to do to get to the league. 20 games. First game, I ended up having my son, so I kind of missed most of training camp. So I didn't play the first game. So I'm like, okay, 19 games. Got in, second game, we playing against, I forgot who we was playing against. It was like Northern Illinois, somebody. Man, we playing against them. I get in, get a seam route, we got a seam veer where I split the safeties. Go up, make a crazy catch, one of those falling backs, extend it, just knew it, nice. Somebody do normal, routine stuff. Man, I got smacked coming down. All I remember is going up doing that. And then waking up like this, walking off the field. And I was like, what happened? It's like, dude, you just got knocked out. So I got to the sideline and I couldn't remember nothing. So I'm just like, man, what game is this? And he was like, this is the second game. And I was like, man, I got any stats yet? And he was like, nah, that would have been your first catch, but he knocked you out. I'm like, man, and they asked me, it's like, what you remember? And I said, man, do I got a son? And he was just like, nah. I said, oh, okay. And he was like, nah, man, you do got a son. We just joking with you. I'm like, nah, I don't got a son. Like, bro, you just missed the whole training camp. You do have a son. So that was a crazy football story for me. Just the fact that was my first time ever getting knocked out in the game, never ever in football. Just knocked completely out. I didn't remember nothing.
Jeez.
Barely remembered I had a son. I had just left from the whole delivery process 2 weeks ago. Didn't remember my son being born. Nothing. I didn't remember nothing. I didn't know where I was at.
Oh my goodness. So you got hit. You were going up for a pass. You were on a seam route. Safety split, and you just got cracked.
Correct. Sleep.
Oh. Oh my
And I don't
goodness.
remember nothing. I had to watch it on film. It was like, I still don't remember that. Like everything went black once I went up for the ball.
Do you still have
That's
that
it.
clip now?
Nah, man, that's in the archive somewhere. I don't have it. I hope they don't.
Oh, we need that clip so we can clip that.
That's funny, man.
That's crazy. What was your welcome to NFL moment?
My welcome to the NFL moment. I never really had one. I would say, no, I never really had one. I would say the thing that really just made it real for me, like, oh, okay, this is different. I would say, let me see. I would say special teams. I would say coming in, getting on special teams, and just seeing that a guy was running about 50 yards full speed, and it's like I got to block him. And it's just like, in college and stuff, it's like, man, you got assignments, but we ain't really it ain't that serious.
Yeah.
But seeing that you can really get cut for not making a special team block, like seeing a guy like we hear in practice today, he made a mistake on special teams for something that like nobody can do. He's running 60 yards full speed. You want him to stop him? And seeing that guy wasn't there the next day, like that's it, locker cleaned out. That was like this is real. Like ain't nothing guaranteed. So that was kind of like my welcome to the NFL. Like, man, you better enjoy this. It really ain't promised tomorrow, let alone next week or next year. In college, I know I got 4 years. In the
Yeah.
NFL, man, you might not even have 30 minutes left. Somebody gonna be knocking on that locker. So seeing somebody get cut for special teams mistakes, that really opened my eyes.
Wow. Have you ever seen the movie The Invincible with the Eagles one, Vince Papale? It's on Disney, where Mark Wahlberg, he tries out for the Eagles. It's a true story. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah, man, that movie almost had me in tears one day.
That movie is giving me the vibes that you're saying right now, just the
Yeah.
vision of it. Like it's real. Like you're not guaranteed anything in the NFL.
Nah, and like coming from college, like all of us was the man, all of us was the guy at our campus at one point. And
Yeah.
then you come into the league and it's like, okay, they know what I can do. It's like, nah. Everybody
Yeah.
go back to the bottom of the list. Like you just a nobody again. And literally they're bringing in new guys at every position every Tuesday. No matter win, lose, or draw, you can go for 200 yards receiving. Tuesday, they're gonna have receivers in there trying out.
That's
Every
crazy.
week. You gotta earn everything, man.
So 5 questions to end the show, always from my guests. Number 1, what motivates you?
What motivates me? I ain't gonna give you the cliche answer like my kids. Well, that's obvious. That's built in.
Yeah.
But what motivates me is the same thing as since I was a kid. I would say I was always curious, like, man, what does my full potential look like? Just when I was a kid, just what does the big version of Jeremy look like? What is just when I'm doing everything that I'm capable of doing, I'm fulfilling my purpose, I'm as smart as I can be, I'm as healthy as I can be, I'm doing everything I can to be successful as I can be at all levels. Like, what does that really look like? Like, what is my lifestyle? What is my family? What is my purpose? What is like just inspiration? What does that look like? Me fulfilling my potential. So that's what drives me, man, just to really empty the tank. Like, I don't want to leave. When I leave Earth, I don't want to have nothing in the tank, man. Like, I want to empty it all out.
I respect that. If you could tell your 18-year-old self one thing, what would it be?
Trust yourself. Like, you got everything you need. Like, stop looking. Stop looking at other people. Stop looking for something else. Like, stop looking for some extra, some secret, some extra workout. I used to order things to try to do workouts at home to get faster. Just trust yourself. Everything that you got inside of you right now, you got everything you need to become what you need to become.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see myself. In 5 years, I probably be nearing or probably in the works of having a school, built, having a school up, a private school in some
Wow.
way, private school or after school program where I'm working with a lot of kids. But just 5 years from now, for sure having a business set up to where we really impacting the youth with just, practical life skills education. So I would say 5 years from now, yeah, really, really digging in on that, having a real good successful brand as far as putting out that information, programs, doing a lot of speaking engagements, putting on live events for youth.
What kind of advice would you give to young aspiring athletes wanting to be in the NFL?
Oh, it's a good one. So I would say that's a great question, man. I would say understand. It's what I teach now. I would say it's 5 skills, 5 principles that you're gonna use in football that you understand in sports, and towards your craft. Chase the league. Go get it. You should want to be the best, and best you can do in anything. But so go chase your dream. But understand that every skill that you develop into your craft, every skill that you develop as an athlete, like your coachability, your ability to work with teammates, your maturity and how you handle things beyond your control and adapt to just resiliency in different things and circumstances, your responsibility of knowing your assignment, knowing your position, and how that affects the team and your role, and just your ability to be a leader. We all leaders, and as athletes, we all leaders in some way or another. I would say take those skills and understand that you're going to need them as an athlete, but develop those same skills as a person. Everything that you learn in sports, make sure that you have a plan B, that if sports don't work out for whatever reason, even if sports does work out, take the skills you learn from sports and apply those to life as well. Don't feel like when football or sports doesn't work out, you got to start from scratch. No, you've already developed skills. You already have the mindset and the tools to just go right into the next profession.
That's a great answer there. Last question for you. What is the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
The weirdest thing I've ever eaten. It was weird when I did it, but probably not. Well, no, probably not. It's not weird no more. Alligator, or got to be alligator or oysters.
Okay, I mean oysters is all right, but alligator's a little.
Calamari.
No, not I was to say. If you alligator, yeah, I mean you live in Florida, it's understandable. The gators are here, you get a lot of gators, but still, it can be a little.
Yeah.
But before we officially wrap up, you got to plug your socials and kind of let listeners know where they can find you.
Oh man, I got to get better at this. So my Instagram is ButlerJ1. On YouTube, I believe it is J Butler Senior or Jeremy Butler. I probably got to send it to you.
Yes, sir.
Facebook, J Butler. Got the book coming out, man. It's gonna be I'm gonna put that out everywhere on my socials. It's better than the rest. What really separates the best athletes. So just principles and skills that I learned from being around the world's best athletes. I learned the secrets that separate the best from everybody else. So, and these skills you can also take from sports, like I said, and you can use them in life as well. So better than the rest. What really makes the best athlete successful. So it's going to be a great short read, but great, powerful book. So that's coming out soon.
So, okay, I was going to ask, can you share when it comes out? But you said it's coming out soon.
Yeah, so we're looking at it'll be out within probably the next 2.5, 3 weeks. I think we're looking at a May 17th release date.
Oh wow, awesome! Yeah, you'll have to blast it on your socials. Yeah, that'll
I
be
gotta
awesome.
put it out, man. I gotta get it going.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to hear your story more and the book. That's cool. It's called Better Than the Rest.
Yeah, better than the rest.
It's better than the rest. Guys, you got to check out Jay Butler's new book, May 17th. As of right now, it's called Better Than the Rest. Gives you a deeper dive into his NFL career, the principles, what life is like off the field as an athlete. It's going to be a great one. Make sure to check that out. And as always, guys, we appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of the Inquisitive Mamba Podcast. It was a pleasure to have Jay Butler on the show. Jeremy Butler, whatever way you want to call him. He's a former NFL player. He played college football at the University UT Martin. He played for the Chargers, the Bucks, the Ravens. It was a pleasure to have you on, Jeremy. We got a chance to hear about your story as an athlete, life as a father, your new book coming out, Better Than the Rest, little NBA banter back and forth with MJ and LeBron, little catch up on steak is not a go for you. You gave a little shout out jab to the Swifties. That was awesome there. We talked about best tight end of all time. You name it. It was a pleasure to have Jay on the show. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Thank you again, man, for coming on. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Alrighty, guys. We'll see you next time.